Mr. Chairman, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I wish to express sincere appreciation and thanks to the government and people of Mexico and the UNSDR for your warm welcome and hospitality at this forum. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a multi-island developing state in the English-speaking Caribbean, which is vulnerable to a range of natural hazards or geological and geographical positions have exposed us to a range of hydrometeorological and geological hazards, which have resulted in damage and loss of 2 to 15% of our GDP almost annually. We are a participating state of SEDIMA and have long adopted our regional comprehensive disaster management strategy 2014 to 2024, which is our regional framework for the implementation of the Sendai framework. In recognition of the foregoing, my government has seen the wisdom in making significant investments in the areas of disaster risk reduction, climate change adoption, and our programs for DRR and climate change incorporates the Sendai framework, the SDGs, and the UN Climate Change Paris Agreement. St. Vincent and Grenadines is committed to meeting the 7 global targets and priorities of the Sendai framework and has sought to build resilience in several areas, namely disaster financing, strengthening early warning systems, and understanding disaster risk reduction. Firstly, disaster financing. On the 1st of May this year, St. Vincent and the Grenadines has for the first time established a disaster contingency fund which allows us to meet the immediate needs of post-disaster and to contribute to our short and medium-term recovery programs. This policy directive clearly supports priority 3 of the Sendai framework, which is investing in disaster risk reduction for resilience. We are in the final 2 years of implementing the Regional Disaster Vulnerability Project funded by the World Bank and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where funds have been committed to build the resilience of our infrastructure and strengthening the institutional capacity of key agencies. Our investment consider the Building Back Better policy. Secondly, strengthening early warning systems. The improvement of early warning systems at the local and national levels is a national priority. While the absence of baseline data poses some challenges as they are needed to generate risk and hazard maps, we are working with hosts of national and regional agencies to enhance our capacity for early warnings. Over the next year, our emergency communication network will see a major improvement in the strengthening of our community systems to allow us to reach more vulnerable communities before and after emergencies. Thirdly, understanding disaster risk reduction. St. Vincent and the Grenadines continue to promote this policy, one of the Sendai framework, through our adoption of all hazard approach of our regional CDM strategy. With climate change, many communities have become more exposed and are experiencing increasing incidents of flooding, landslides, droughts, and are thus becoming more vulnerable. While St. Vincent and Grenadines continue to successfully incorporate the Sendai framework and meet the global targets, we must not lose sight that we need to also improve lives and reduce poverty in keeping with the Sustainable Development Goals. Hence, we must be committed to redirecting financing for DRR and building resilient communities and people. Mr. Chairman, let me once again thank you on behalf of the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for hosting us at this 2017 global platform. We also look forward to joining us, for you to join us in the Caribbean at the Comprehensive Disaster Conference in December, and to share with us our experiences in implementing the Sendai framework. Once again, I thank you.
Mr. Godfred, Pompey, thank you very much for your declaration.